Welcome to this explainer. If you are a Christian school leader, a teacher, or a parent, you are in exactly the right place. We are diving into a really tough but incredibly important question today. Why are your absolute best teachers quietly planning to leave? And more importantly, we are going to look at the real power that you, as a leader, have to make them stay. Let's jump right in.
Part 1 is all about what we call the quiet exit.
Picture this. It's the end of a long, exhausting day. A veteran teacher is sitting alone in her classroom. She just read an email about yet another mandated initiative she had absolutely zero say in, and she just slowly closes her laptop. She loves her students. She deeply believes in the school, but as she packs up her bag, she realizes she simply can't keep doing this. That's the exact reality we are unpacking today.
And here's the truly heartbreaking part. The strongest teachers are so often your quietest flight risk. The folks who care the absolute most, the ones pouring their whole hearts into the kids, they are exactly the ones getting burned out by feeling ignored. Think about it. People who don't care don't mind having no voice. But for your top educators, feeling unseen just makes the job unbearable.
Okay, moving to part 2, we need to look beyond the pay and the pipeline.
Now, if you read the headlines, they love to blame teacher pay and the national pipeline shortage. And sure, money matters, we all know that. But if pay was the only reason teachers left, leaders would be totally helpless. Luckily, research from the Learning Policy Institute and Gallup tells us a completely different story. The actual biggest predictors of retention are trust, voice, and a shared mission. And the absolute best news here, those are things a leader actually controls.
Let's put this into perspective. Teachers who feel unsupported by leadership are more than twice as likely to leave or switch schools. 2 times. The cynical take is that teachers leave because the school just doesn't have enough money. But the data says the school leader accounts for the vast majority of the variance in employee engagement. Retaining a great teacher is really a leadership challenge, which means it's totally solvable.
Let's get into part 3, the 3 drivers of departure.
The research breaks this down into 3 compounding issues. First up is eroded trust. It's kind of like a leaking bucket. Every time a small promise gets dropped, trust just drains a little bit more. Second is lost voice. Just imagine an eager hand raised in a meeting and then slowly lowered because nobody called on them. When a teacher realizes their expertise doesn't count, they start looking for the exit. And third is mission drift. These don't happen all at once. They stack up over time until a highly capable teacher just decides to walk away. I want to double-click on that third point. Mission drift happens when the stated purpose of a school and its daily reality completely pull apart. And for Christian school leaders, this is absolutely crucial to catch. Why? Because mission drift is the cruelest driver of turnover in faith-based schools. It punishes the exact teachers who specifically took a pay cut for a meaningful purpose. If the spiritual formation pieces vanish from your calendar, that teacher loses the entire reason they accepted a lower salary in the first place.
Which brings us to part 4, the danger of silence.
There is a really powerful quote here. The dangerous moment is not the complaint. It is when the complaints stop. To a busy principal, a teacher who stops complaining looks like a teacher who is finally happy and at peace. But what it really means is that they have stopped investing. They stopped trying to fix things. Disengagement looks exactly like peace, right up until the moment the resignation letter hits your desk.
You absolutely don't need a fancy survey to spot this. There are clear behavioral shifts you can pick up on just by walking the halls. Going quiet in staff meetings is usually the very first sign. Then, you'll notice them doing the job exactly to spec and nothing more. All that extra discretionary effort vanishes. They stop asking for resources, conversations become purely transactional, and eventually, you start seeing those unusual, interview-shaped absences. The signals are loud and clear once you know what to look for.
Okay, moving to part 5, let's look at 5 practices you can start this Monday.
Practice 1 fixes eroded trust. And the step for Monday is super simple. Keep your small promises visibly. Write down every single commitment you make to your staff this week and then close the loop out loud. You don't build relational trust with grant speeches. You build it with a highly visible track record of actually being reliable. The result? Your teachers finally stop racing for drop commitments.
Practice 2 tackles lost voice. Your goal for Monday is to give one real decision away. Find a choice you normally make alone and hand it entirely over to a teacher or a team. Giving up real authority on something concrete like a unit schedule matters so much more than a suggestion box. We all know those can feel like a black hole anyway. Doing this makes their voice concrete and proves their input actually matters.
Practice 3 is about stopping mission drift. Your Monday step is to name the mission in the calendar.
Take a hard look at your schedule. The daily schedule is literally the truest statement of a school's actual values. If faith formation is your mission, but nothing on the calendar supports it, you have a massive gap. Close just one gap this week, and your teachers will see the mission they signed up for is still very real.
Practice 4 hits all 3 drivers at once. Run a 5-minute stay conversation. Way before an exit interview ever happens, sit down with your absolute best teachers. Ask them what keeps them at the school and what might eventually make them leave. Then just listen, write it down, act on it. You'll uncover quiet erosion long before it hardens into someone actually leaving.
Practice 5 is absolutely vital for preventing burnout. Protect your best teachers from the reward of more work. Your most capable educators quietly absorb way too much extra work simply because they are reliable. But eventually, they're going to break. Take one thing off their plate this week and do not replace it. We have got to stop punishing excellence with overload.
Now, please listen to this part. Don't try to do all 5 at once. 2 practices done for real and sustained over time will always beat 5 announced and abandoned. A sudden, chaotic flurry of new initiatives will actually drive turnover up. Pick 2. Commit to them. That's how you start turning the tide this month.
Finally, Part 6. The choice leaders have.
Remember that a signal is an invitation to a conversation, not a verdict. When you notice a great teacher going quiet, approach them with genuine curiosity. Drop any defensiveness. Just ask them something like, "Hey, I noticed you've been a bit quieter lately. Is there something I'm missing?" Most of these early warning signs are completely reversible if you just open the door to talk.
Let's go right back to that veteran teacher from the beginning, the one closing her laptop in an empty room. Yes, the teacher shortage is a massive national issue. But whether that specific, brilliant veteran teacher stays in your building is a question you can still answer. The best educators stay for things that cost almost nothing: attention, trust, voice, and a shared mission. You have the power to change your mind. So what will you choose to focus on this Monday? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope you feel ready to make a tangible difference in your school.